Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Today, I want to talk to you about the obstacles that are getting in the way of your sleep. Because a healthy body sleeps well. And so, if you can't sleep, there are imbalances in your body that are causing your insomnia, and you aren't perfectly healthy. Even if you eat well and you exercise and you take supplements and you care about your health, there's no way you can be in perfect health and not be sleeping. But I do want you to know that insomnia isn't something that you have to live with. It's really just a problem that needs to be solved. It's just like when your car breaks down. The mechanic figures out what's broken and then it fixes it. And it's exactly the same way with your sleep problems. You can find out what's keeping you awake and fix it so that you can sleep normally. And this is true for pretty much everyone. I mean, we are meant to sleep well. If you aren't, there's something getting in the way and it's fixable. Now, it might take longer for some people than others, but if you work on restoring your health, then your sleep will get back to normal. And I know this for a fact because it's happened for me and dozens of my clients. So here are some of the obstacles that could be getting in the way of a good night's sleep for you. So all you have to do is address each obstacle in the correct order, and your health and sleep will improve. So if you think of this like climbing a ladder, you start at the bottom with the first obstacle, and then you move up the ladder one rung at a time, addressing each obstacle until you have solved all of them, and then you can sleep well. So the first obstacle you want to address is cortisol imbalance. So this is the bottom rung of the ladder, and this is what has caused all the other obstacles above it. It's really from long-term stress and cortisol getting out of balance. Now, we know that high cortisol can cause sleep issues, but low cortisol can as well. And low cortisol means that you've been stressed for a really long time and your body now can't make enough cortisol to deal with all that stress. But that's going to affect blood sugar and inflammation, all kinds of things. And then your body resorts to adrenaline if cortisol is low. So that's going to affect your sleep even more. Now, as a functional medicine practitioner, I want to find out why cortisol is out of balance. I don't just want to recommend a supplement to lower cortisol because that's not getting to the root of it. That's not addressing why it's happening, and then you'll just have to take something forever. So pretty much cortisol gets out of balance over time when you're stressed, and that can definitely be from mental stress, living a very busy life. Of course, our modern lifestyle contributes to that. And then, acute stressful events like taking care of a family member who's sick or going through a divorce, losing a loved one, things like that are obviously going to contribute to mental stress. But then there are also physical imbalances that are happening in your body that you might not even know about that are adding to your total stress load. And at first, your body makes a lot of cortisol to deal with all that stress, and then your body can't keep up and cortisol gets depleted over time. So you really want to find out where the stress is coming from and address that first. So that's the first obstacle. The second obstacle that you want to take care of is sex hormone imbalance. So sex hormones are one of the first things that get out of balance when cortisol becomes dysregulated. And the reason is cortisol and sex hormones are all steroid hormones, and so they use the same resources. So when your body's constantly making cortisol to deal with stress, it takes those resources away from your sex hormones, and they can become depleted over time. And low progesterone and estrogen can lead to insomnia in both men and women. Now, there are other hormone imbalances that affect sleep, such as high testosterone and estrogen dominance, when estrogen is too high compared to progesterone or testosterone. Those are typically from an unhealthy liver, but there can be other reasons for that as well. So supplementing with hormones in the short term can help you sleep better. But again, I want to address why your hormones are out of balance in the first place and correct that so that you aren't taking hormone replacement therapy forever. Now, the next obstacle is mineral imbalance, and this can also lead to sleep issues. So, really, our minerals need to be in balance with each other, and too much calcium, for example, can deplete magnesium. They're all very connected to each other. And both low calcium and low magnesium can contribute to sleep issues. Now, if you struggle with sleep, you've probably tried magnesium. And yes, magnesium is critical for sleep, but you need the right balance of other minerals and vitamins and its cofactors to absorb magnesium. And you also need a healthy gut to get magnesium from food or from supplements. So, this explains why magnesium supplements don't help everyone directly with sleep, even though most people do need magnesium. So, I use a hair tissue mineral analysis test to find my client's mineral status, and then I can recommend supplements and or foods to help restore that balance so that they can start sleeping better. Now, the next obstacle up the ladder is your liver. So when your liver is backed up and it can't produce all the toxins or can't process all the toxins in your body, then those toxins continue circulating around, causing a lot of inflammation. And your body releases cortisol whenever there's inflammation because it's an anti-inflammatory hormone. Now, your liver is most active at night. And so, as your liver is trying to deal with all the toxins, if there's more than it can handle, causing all this inflammation, your body releases cortisol. That's going to wake you up. So I recommend different supplements. To support the liver, I definitely recommend reducing, if not eliminating, alcohol for a period of time for most of my clients. And I recommend other ways to support the liver, which I have talked about on the podcast and on my blog before, such as coffee enemas and Epsom salt baths and drinking warm water with lemon juice. So all of these things can help support the liver. Now, one of the final obstacles is gut health. So this can be a major obstacle for sleeping well for quite a few reasons. So you need plenty of good bacteria in your gut because they make 90% of our neurotransmitters. So dopamine, GABA, serotonin, melatonin are actually made in our gut. So if you don't have enough of those good bacteria, it's going to be really hard to feel calm and relaxed and able to sleep. Now, if your gut wall has become damaged from antibiotics or stress or eating foods you're sensitive to or an unhealthy diet in general, then as your gut gets damaged, and you actually can become sensitive to more foods you're eating, which is going to cause a lot of inflammation in your gut. And then we know that your body's releasing cortisol to deal with that inflammation. Now, another way gut health is important for sleep is that if you have a pathogen like a parasite or bad bacterial overgrowth or a yeast like Candida, those creatures are nocturnal. And so they're most active at night. They're causing tons of inflammation, especially around 3 and 4 a.m. And so that is your body's going to release cortisol. It's going to make it very hard to sleep. You're going to wake up and then have a really hard time falling back asleep. So the solution for poor gut health is to address those pathogens, is to avoid foods you're sensitive to for a period of time while your gut heals, and then use supplements and foods to heal the lining of your gut. Now, heavy metals are one of the final obstacles to address, and I see lead and mercury and aluminum and arsenic and copper is a metal that can become toxic. I see these things in many of my clients. And these toxic metals, they accumulate in the liver and the brain, and so they can cause neurological issues such as insomnia. Now, I don't recommend an aggressive detox for heavy metals, but there are ways to support your body's natural detox in a really gentle way as we're balancing minerals. And then your body gets stronger and is able to detox more of those heavy metals on its own. So there are other obstacles to your sleep that I look for. I talked about mold toxicity last week. That's becoming a more common one that I'm seeing, but the ones that I just listed are the most common. And so, really, sleeping better is so simple. The first step is you find the obstacles that are keeping you awake. And the second step is you fix those obstacles. You don't have to live with insomnia forever. This is a health problem that can be fixed, and I can help you with that. So I use functional lab testing to find out what's going on in your body that's causing the stress, to look for these obstacles that I just talked about. And then I also help with the mental part of not sleeping, with rewiring your brain so you aren't worried about sleep, so you aren't thinking negatively about sleep and about life in general. So it's really addressing both the body and the mind, which is necessary if you're going to get better for the long term. So you're welcome to book a call with me to talk about what's going on with your sleep, what you've tried so far, and how I can help you find out what's causing this so that you can start sleeping better soon. All right, I will talk to you next week.